what a lot of hard work from January, from a recruiting standpoint, from Coach Ward, his staff, with our strength and conditioning, Rev, our nutritionist, kind of all accumulate for this moment right here. And, we got 117 young men out here. Solid practice. You look at, you never want to compare, but that's what we do as people, right? You compare a year ago where we are from, this was a good practice for us. I just told them this is the worst practice we'll have all year. Everything from here on is continue to grow and continue to get better. We're a developmental program, and so we're going to keep challenging these young men. And we got a lot of young players that, thank goodness they were here in January, because you can see the fruits of the work that we put in spring ball and in the off season really come to fruition today.
What did you see from your quarterbacks today?
I thought both of them you can tell are ready to go. Both of them are hungry. This wasn't the first time that this installed. This was about the third time this summer we've covered it. So we knew that the execution, the communication should be at an all-time high. I know for a fact they both wish they could have a couple throws back, a couple things mechanically, sometimes over the summer, because you don't have pads on, you create some bad habits. So I think we can clean some things up from a delivery standpoint.
We know it's day one, but do you have an estimated time of when you think you'll be able to decide who you're going with?
At the latest, it'll be 10 days out from our first game. So I kind of roundaboutly gave you an answer there.
Coach, I know it's day one, but did you get the energy and the effort level that you expected?
I did. We have 20 or so seniors. They all came over to the house here a couple weeks ago and said, hey, I want you guys to be the best leaders on the football team. Last year, maybe I had too big a role. You guys need to take control of this thing. And we've encouraged. We've given them kind of the reins. I'll be very helpful and assist on the side, but I want guys like Roland and our vet Sim Harris, and just our veteran D line, and some of the guys who had great, who are accustomed to what we're doing, are comfortable to really elevate our program. And we got to do it internally. Our locker room's got to be at an all-time high for us to have success.
Coach, when you do it that way, it really means a lot more when you have the players kind of policing themselves, right?
No question. It's their program. If I disappeared tonight, this program would still have to go on, and they would have all the information they need to be successful.
Speaking of leaders, Simeon and DJ were on some preseason watch lists. They get there for their stats, but what's something so underrated about those two that gets them recognized for those types of things?
Well, I think Simeon, a natural leader, very vocal, understands football, very aware of his surroundings, can help everyone in the back end. And with DJ, just his evolution while he's been here. I knew DJ before I got to Fresno, and the young man that you see now, that's what's so special about college football. Young men have an opportunity to grow up in programs like ours, where it's all about the development, all about the growth.
Coach, how long do you have that lead up before the USC game? When do you start thinking about USC when you have this month out? During
10 days out. Now, everything we do leads us into the season. Our install is set up to help us, with installation during the season. But when we start getting into our developmental teams and scout teams, if you will, 10 days out.
And for that process of getting ready for the season, what you're facing and all the different kinds of opponents you could be facing, how do you get yourselves prepared for all the different opponents that you have through these 21 days?
One of the things we're trying to implement this year is really utilizing our evening walkthroughs. College football's changed dramatically. When I was in college years ago, 2 practices, maybe even a walkthrough at night, if not a third practice. We're down to 1. We feel like we want to be really efficient and organized in what we do on the field, but our evening walkthrough is about 50 minutes, and there'll be times where we will work on a look, maybe it's a package that's someone that we haven't played or that's down the road. So when we do get to those weeks, it's not the first time, and there's a little bit, hopefully, of retention with our players. So we touch on a lot of different things throughout the year. Don't necessarily always tell them that's why we're doing it, but that's the strategy behind kind of why we create our walkthroughs the way they are.
Coach, with the 5 for 5, do you approach things with the freshmen any different?
Well, I think our philosophy is, as you get, we brought 15 guys in at January. From January to now is their red shirt. And right now we're utilizing, if they're good, the best players will play. And if it's a young player that can help us over the course of the entire year, good for us. And a year ago or in the previous rules, once a kid hit 4 games, the development kind of plateaued. Now you're going to keep coaching those young men all year because, again, when do injuries happen? When does all of a sudden you start needing some bodies, especially October, November, when hopefully you're playing some meaningful games.
Are there any injury situations you can update us on?
We have Brandon Ramirez, as everyone knows, unfortunately won't be with us during the season. Eddie Fanua will not be with us either. Eddie was injured away from football back home, the time between finals and start of summer. So unfortunately, football's a violent enough sport, and then for guys to get injured away from the game, really frustrating for him and frustrating for the team because people lean on Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie started every game last year, so with the entire interior offensive line being replaced, what do you look to in that part of the field?
Well, I think we can't minimize Oscar Weigel's 12 games that he played last year. I mean, he does have starting ability. He's played FCS. He's played some good teams before. I think we have a couple other guys, Braylon Henderson, Bodie Stoddard. Gino is healthy now. So I think and Alex Rivera, young man who came in June, was the #1 player in the state of New Mexico. And as of right now, the billing is accurate. He is a really talented young man. We have an unbelievable offensive line coach, and so he's going to have a solution, and he's going to have our guys ready to go.
Jumping on Jackson's question about the 5-and-5 rule, you were quoted as saying it's a good spot for Fresno State to have a player spend 3 years here and then be able to maybe go somewhere else for 2 years. Is that what you kind of sell with the transfers in the secondary, on the field? Like, you can come here to Fresno State and get better and put some good tape out so that way you can prepare yourself for the next level, wherever that is.
Again, let me make sure. We want everyone to be here, to get a degree and to finish here. Yeah. But that's not the climate, that's not the landscape of college football. But being at a developmental program where you're going to get, as you guys saw, we had 100 snaps from line of scrimmage today. That doesn't happen everywhere. A staff that's going to pour into you, not just physically but mentally, help you learn the game, help you, maybe have some life skills that you can take back. If someone has good enough film and the opportunities are there and they're no-brainers, then we're going to continue to help and support them. Maybe it's an advantage for us if we can get kids ready, but at the same time, we're going to fight like hell to keep them here.
I like that answer. And I have one more question for you. It's hot, obviously. You mentioned how the breeze is helping out, but you also mentioned how Boise is 92. Do you feel like the heat, the triple-digit heat, the entire next week and probably going into the week after will help the Bulldogs get tougher, right? Toughness wins.
Right. Well, we're going to sell it, right? That's part of the deal, and we don't avoid it. I mean, it's Bulldog weather, and our guys know they've been in it all summer. It was a warm summer to begin with, and so I think the way we have fall camp set up, all our physical activity happens between 8 o'clock and noon. And so the rest of the day is about recovery and mental health, right? Getting yourself in the playbook, getting on the film, getting with your coaches, making sure we're ready for tomorrow. And I think that's really helped us, one, minimize injuries, but also allows us to continue to stack really good days.
Coach, and I think jumping on that, it's like, in the old days, being tough and going through weather like this is one thing, but you really have to be smart about it too, which hence is why you do all that activity in the morning, right?
We do, and we utilize GPS tremendously, and all of our players wear a GPS unit, and so we're monitoring workload, dynamic change of direction, full speed yardage, total yardage, and so we're taking a lot of metrics in during the course of the day to make sure that we're practicing efficiently, but smart as well. You're exactly right. I'll throw myself into that old school type of practice. I'm probably old enough now. I told some of the players yesterday I'm probably old enough to be parent to some of their parents right now. But yeah, you're right. Healthy teams are good football teams, and we got to find a way to sustain health.
From those 100 snaps, is there a highlight or two that sticks out you can share?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. I'd have to look. I'd probably have them all circled. I thought we did a really good job up front. I thought our offensive line continues to develop and grow. Some young receivers, Jaleel McClain had a good day. Bryce McDaniel had a huge catch, young man out of Houston, for us. So a lot of positives. And I really think our defensive line, again with the depth we have, we're gonna have to lean on them defensively at times. They're gonna speed up the operation of things.
What did Julius and Tariq bring to the running back room? Because those are two new guys that can have a lot of new roles.
Well, just depth, with a program that wants to run the football, wants to hang their hat on our run game, setting up our throw game. We're going to need a multitude of people. And it was good to see Lucky out here today. Welcome to college football. I think his first play that he had today, he went the wrong way. And all right, hey, there we go. Like I said, it ain't going to get any worse than this. Right? So we'll only continue to get better. But welcome to college football.
Is there anything you learned from last year's fall camp to this year that may be implemented?
We changed some things in regards to how we're handling off days, our sequencing of off days, our unload days. Again, diving into more of the analytic side of things. I'm a math and science guy, so I really find that stuff intriguing. We can't practice like P4 teams, so we have to be smarter than some of them, to make sure we can get to game one. We just don't have the depth. We don't have, the volume of bodies and things like that. So for us to wear everyone out during the first 2 weeks, not very intelligent for me. We got to make sure we're smart. We tentatively have an afternoon practice on Monday. Not sure if we'll do that just because of the weather. I do think we need to be prepared for it because I got a feeling first home game of the year is probably going to be triple digits. At some point we need to experience that and, emulate a game in that type of weather.